Grainy black and white archive footage of cotton fields stretching across the Mississippi Delta captures the origin of a crime that took 100 years to mature. The arsenic did not leave. It sank. It bonded with the clay soil under the Mississippi Delta in the 1930s, and it waited for the rice industry to arrive. Lead arsenate pesticide, the agricultural industry's weapon of choice against the boll weevil, was sprayed across millions of acres of southern cottonland from the 1920s through the late 1940s. When synthetic pesticides like DDT replaced arsenical compounds and the cotton economy collapsed, those fields did not get remediation. They got flooded. Arkansas farmers discovered that the same flat, clay-heavy soil that had grown cotton for a century was perfect for rice cultivation. The water table did the rest. Flooded paddies created an anaerobic, oxygen-depleted soil environment that mobilizes arsenic from its bonded state. It dissolves into the standing water that rice roots drink continuously, from germination to harvest. The industry did not clean the soil. They did not test the legacy contamination. They planted a new crop and called it the American Rice Belt. This is not an oversight. I tracked the regulatory record. There is no federal remediation program for pre-Green Revolution pesticide, arsenic, in American agricultural soil. Not one. Scientific laboratory equipment and bubbling test tubes in university agriculture departments across the country have been generating the same finding for 15 years, and the data is not subtle. Rice is a semi-aquatic plant, and that biological fact makes it categorically different from every other grain in your pantry. Wheat, corn, and oats grow in aerated soil where inorganic arsenic stays chemically locked and largely unavailable. Rice grows in standing water, and flooded soil chemistry converts arsenic into its most bioavailable, most absorbable form. The plant's roots pull it in passively, depositing inorganic arsenic into the grain during the filling stage of growth. The FDA's own Total Diet study and rice monitoring program, updated as recently as 2020, found measurable inorganic arsenic in every single category of domestic rice product tested. Not some. Every category. A peer-reviewed analysis published in Environmental Health Perspectives found that American consumers who eat rice daily are exposed to inorganic arsenic intake levels that exceed what the Environmental Protection Agency considers acceptable risk thresholds for drinking water by a factor of 2 to 5, depending on the serving size. The acceptable risk threshold for arsenic in drinking water is 10 micrograms per liter. A single serving of Arkansas long-grain white rice can deliver between 70 and 110 micrograms of inorganic arsenic. Do the math yourself. The agency did not act on its own data. Glossy marketing brochures and green organic seals on premium rice bags at Whole Foods and Sprouts represent one of the most cynical misdirections in the American food industry. Here is what the organic certification actually means in the context of rice contamination. And this is the part the industry hopes you never find out. United States Department of Agriculture organic certification prohibits the use of synthetic pesticides and fertilizers during the current growing cycle. It says nothing about the historical contamination status of the soil. An organic rice farm operating on land that was a cotton field in 1935, land that received decades of lead arsenate application, carries every microgram of that legacy arsenic in its geology. The organic certification does not require soil arsenic testing. It does not require disclosure of historical land use. It does not require remediation. A certified organic bag of Mahatma rice and a conventional bag of Mahatma rice, both grown in the same Arkansas Delta County, can carry virtually identical loads of inorganic arsenic in the grain. The green leaf seal on the premium bag is not a safety guarantee. It is a marketing decision. Consumers paying 3 times more for organic rice from domestic southern soil are buying a story, not protection. The soil cannot be certified organic. The arsenic was there before the organic program existed. Microscopic views of human cells and DNA strands under laboratory imaging equipment reveal the specific mechanism that makes inorganic arsenic uniquely dangerous, separate from every other food contaminant in this investigation series. Inorganic arsenic is a Group 1 carcinogen, the highest classification used by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Group 1 means the evidence for human carcinogenicity is sufficient, not probable or possible. The mechanism is well documented. Inorganic arsenic disrupts DNA repair enzymes, generates oxidative stress in cellular tissue, and interferes with gene expression pathways associated with tumor suppression. These are not acute poisoning effects. These are chronic, low-dose effects that accumulate across years of daily exposure. The populations at highest risk are pregnant women, infants, and young children, whose DNA replication rates are highest and whose detoxification pathways are least developed. The American Academy of Pediatrics issued guidance in 2014, recommending that parents diversify away from rice-based infant cereals, specifically due to arsenic load. The rice industry's response was to redesign the packaging. The words "now with more iron" appeared on several leading infant rice cereal boxes within 18 months of the AAP guidance. The arsenic did not go anywhere. Massive cargo ships docking at European ports of entry and refrigerated inspection warehouses along the Rotterdam and Hamburg docks tell the second half of this story, the half that makes the American regulatory response look like a deliberate choice rather than a bureaucratic delay. The European Food Safety Authority finalized a maximum limit for inorganic arsenic in rice at 100 micrograms per kilogram for polished white rice, and 200 micrograms per kilogram for rice destined for the production of rice-based food for infants and young children. This regulation carries enforcement teeth. Shipments of American origin rice arriving at EU ports are tested against these limits. Domestic southern United States long-grain white rice, the kind in the Mahatma bag, the Ben's Original bag, and the Walmart Great Value bag, regularly fails the EU standard. Border rejection data published by the European Commission's Rapid Alert System for Food and Feed show American rice shipments flagged for elevated arsenic content as a documented, recurring finding. The same grain that cannot legally enter Germany can be sold to a school child in Arkansas through the National School Lunch Program. The Food and Drug Administration still has no finalized legal maximum for inorganic arsenic in rice for American adults. The agency published a draft action level for infant rice cereal in 2016. 8 years passed. The draft remained a draft. The rice kept shipping. Close-up of a kitchen sink with running water and a mesh colander full of white rice grains captures the moment where the industry's dual deception becomes most visible. Rinsing rice is the single most effective, zero-cost intervention a consumer can take to reduce arsenic load before cooking. Studies published in the journal Science of the Total Environment confirm that rinsing rice thoroughly under cold water and then cooking it in a 6:1 water-to-rice ratio, draining the excess water before serving, can reduce inorganic arsenic content by up to 57%. That is a meaningful reduction. That is the difference between exceeding the European Union regulatory limit and falling below it. And yet, the instruction panel on every bag of enriched American white rice says in small print near the bottom, "Do not rinse before cooking." The reason is printed on the front of the bag in the Nutrition Facts panel. Enriched rice. When milled white rice has its bran and germ removed, the natural vitamins go with them. The synthetic replacement, a coating of iron, folic acid, thiamine, and niacin, is water-soluble. Rinse the grain and you strip 100% of the synthetic vitamin layer. You are left with wet starch and whatever arsenic the rinsing did not remove. The instruction not to rinse your rice is not a food safety recommendation. It is a nutrition label protection strategy. The brand chose the integrity of its packaging claim over your arsenic exposure. Those two facts have never appeared on the same label. A glowing red digital map of the Mississippi Delta, county by county, color-coded for soil arsenic concentration from Environmental Protection Agency monitoring data, reveals the geography of this system failure in a single image. The deepest red zones, the highest arsenic concentrations, are not random. They follow the historical cotton belt precisely. Crittenden County, Arkansas. Mississippi County, Arkansas. Coahoma County, Mississippi. Bolivar County, Mississippi. These are the counties where lead arsenate application was most intensive, where cotton monoculture ran deepest, and where today's American rice industry is most concentrated. Mahatma Rice, owned by Riviana Foods, a subsidiary of Ebro Foods, sources from mills in this belt. Ben's Original, the Mars food brand formerly known as Uncle Ben's, draws from the same Arkansas supply chain at industrial scale, moving through school lunch contracts, hospital food service, and military commissaries. Walmart's Great Value long grain enriched white rice lists domestic sourcing from Arkansas mills on its supplier disclosure documentation. These are not accusatory claims. These are supply chain facts, cross-referenced against FDA arsenic monitoring data and EPA TOS surveys that are publicly available. The audit trail is there. The front of the bag is silent. Not one of these brands has voluntarily added an arsenic disclosure to its packaging. Not one has funded a soil remediation program. The Cotton Ghost still feeds the distribution chain. Cold blue supermarket freezer doors fogging up in the Walmart and Kroger seafood aisles are where this investigation goes next, and the contamination story waiting behind those glass doors operates on a timeline and a biological mechanism that makes the Cotton Ghost legacy look manageable by comparison. You just made the swap on your rice. Wild rice, the seed of a North American aquatic grass with zero connection to southern cotton soil, zero measurable inorganic arsenic in independent laboratory testing, and 60 to 70% more protein per serving than white rice, is the clean exit from this particular trap. That swap is real, and it is available tonight. But what you serve alongside it, the shrimp, the tilapia, the pollock, and the sway, in those bright branded freezer bags, may be carrying a contamination profile that bypasses the digestive system entirely and operates at the cellular level. The term scientists use is bioaccumulation. The compounds include polychlorinated biphenyls, perfluoroalkyl substances, and in certain aquaculture supply chains, antibiotic residues operating outside any FDA inspection jurisdiction. European food safety authorities have flagged specific compound classes found in imported frozen seafood as DNA damaging at chronic low-dose exposure. The freezer aisle audit is coming. The clean seafood swap is documented and ready. But first, you need to see the fallout hiding behind those fogged-up doors.